In this video, I want to look at how to solve absolute value equations. And let's start with a really simple one. The absolute value of x is equal to 3. So what this is asking is, what has an absolute value equal to 3? Well, the absolute value of 3 is 3. However, that's not the only thing. The absolute value of -3 would also be equal to 3. And so we can see we have two answers, since absolute value does not distinguish between negative and positive. In general, if we have the absolute value of some expression u is equal to c, where c has to be greater than or equal to 0, then what we know is that u is equal to plus or minus c, since the absolute value of c is equal to c and the absolute value of -c is equal to c. So we do actually have to set up two equations and solve them. So let's look at some examples. So we have the absolute value of 2x plus 5 equal to 13. What we need to know is what has an absolute value of 13. Well, the absolute value of 13 is equal to 13, so we have 2x plus 5 equal to 13. But the absolute value of -13 is also 13, so we also need that 2x minus 5 is equal to -13. This one on the left, I can subtract 5. I get 2x is equal to 8. And dividing by 2 gives me that x is equal to 4. On the right, subtracting 5 gives me 2x equal to -18. Divide by 2 to get x is equal to -9. Next, let's look at the absolute value of 3x minus 4 equal to 2. We know the absolute value of 2 is 2. In addition, the absolute value of -2 is 2. So we have 3x minus 4 equal to 2 and 3x minus 4 equal to -2. Adding 4 to both sides on the equation on the left gives me 3x is equal to 6. And dividing both sides by 3 gives me x is equal to 2. On the right, I can add 4 to both sides to get 3x is equal to 2, divide both sides by 3, x is equal to 2/3. So my two solutions, x equal to 2 and x equal to 2/3. Let's look at one that's slightly more complicated. The absolute value of 2x minus 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. This one has an extra step we didn't have to consider before. In order for our method to work, we need to have the absolute value is equal to something. So my first step is going to be to subtract 3 from both sides. That gives me the absolute value of 2x minus 4 is equal to 4. Well, we know that the absolute value of 4 is 4, and the absolute value of -4 is 4. So my two equations, 2x minus 4 equal to 4 and 2x minus 4 equal to -4. On the left, adding 4 to both sides gives me 2x equal to 8. I can then divide both sides by 2 to get x is equal to 4. On the right, we add 4 to both sides to get 2x equal to 0. Dividing both sides by 2 gives me x is equal to 0. So in this case, my two solutions are 4 and 0. Let's do another one of these. 2 times the absolute value of x plus 7 minus 3 equal to 15. Once again, I need to start by getting my absolute value alone. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. That gives me 2 times the absolute value of x plus 7 is equal to 18. I can then divide both sides by 2 and get the absolute value of x plus 7 is equal to 9. So what has an absolute value equal to 9? Well, 9 does. So that gives me an equation of x plus 7 equal to 9. And the absolute value of -9 is equal to 9. So that gives me the equation x plus 7 equal to -9. To solve these, we can subtract 7. That gives me x equal to 2. My second equation, subtracting 7, gives me x equal to -16. So here my two solutions are 2 and negative 16. I now want to consider two special cases. The first we can see by the absolute value of 3x minus 4 equal to 0. So what has an absolute value of 0? Well, in this case, just 0. So we can add 4 to both sides. We get 3x equal to 4. And divide both sides by 3 to get x equal to 4 over 3. So whenever our absolute value is actually equal to 0, we only get one solution, rather than the two that we're used to. For my other strange case, let's look at the absolute value of 4x minus 12 equal to negative 6. So in order to set up our equation, we need to know what has an absolute value of negative 6. And the answer is nothing. This has no possible solution. Doesn't matter what we stick in for x, as soon as we take the absolute value, it's going to make the number positive, not negative. So it is possible to have no solution on these, in particular if the absolute value is equal to a negative number.